Let me know when you can see me and hear me, folks. Even I get a commercial. All right, we can skip it. Yep. All right, I am here. Wave at me if you can see me and hear me. And of course, we're going to recycle over here. Hi, Artie. Hi, Anna. Hi, Jeremy. Awesome. Now, let me switch back over here so I can keep up with everything. So, how's everybody doing since our last class? Y'all give a thumbs up. Make sure you give a thumbs up. Click that like button so that we can build that algorithm. We want to build this channel just like the others. I got some treats for you guys today. Oh, hush about the strawberries, Anna. Just, I don't want to hear it. Don't want to hear it. I want watermelon so bad I can't stand it. Everybody around here, they have watermelon. They don't have watermelon no more. I guess they've run out. I got some things I'm going to show y'all. Blow your minds, blow your minds, blow your minds. Ah, that's okay. Awesome, RD. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Let me turn this thing, put her on Do Not Disturbs. If I can remember how to do that. Yeah, all right. I usually do that, but for some reason, yeah, I was brain dead today. There we go. Oh, I can schedule that too. Okay. Mm-hmm. Yep. Awesome. How cool. Now I got one set up. I'm making progress here. I'm just, yeah, I'm always out of it. I got up too early this morning, I think. Even though I slept in, I got up too early. So let's see how many we got. Let me check. Let me check. I sure do hope people get in here. There's only 4 of us in here. Let me refresh again. 7. Did you have fun? Did you get a lot to eat? Yeah, it's a wee bit early. I thought I'd come in here and just chit chat with everybody. See what's going on. We at least have a connection this week. Last week, not so much. Awesome, Pam. Awesome. I love it when you get to get out. Oh, that's even better. You got dinner tomorrow. I may have Dennis run up and get me a watermelon tonight if he can find one. Send him up to that fresh food place. They just opened up in town. Maybe I can get me some watermelon. I love watermelon, but Mia fights me over it. She ends up eating more than I do. And then we're both up all night. But it's well worth it. I'm just saying it's well worth it. Hi, Karen. I love honeydews. I love cantaloupe. I love watermelon. I love pumpkin. I mean, I don't think there's many things I don't like. Fruits, I love them all. The only fruit that I don't like is I think it's the papaya. It's got a funny smell to it that I don't like. You're waiting for the corn? Oh, yeah. Oh, thank you, Corinne. I'm so glad we get to do this. I got so many new students, and a lot of them are very beginners or self taught, and they want to correct bad habits. And I think it's beneficial to get a good foundation in tatting before you move into the big time, big boy stuff, you know? Hmm. Never knew that. Never knew that at all, Anna. I think honeydews have a real sweet flavor that satisfies the sweet tooth, and I like that. And corn, I love corn, but I can only have it just every so often. Cream corn I can have just nearly every day, but just straight corn, corn on the cob. Oh God, I love corn on the cob. I used to buy it when the kids was little. Kroger's in our town would have a sale during the time, it was corn season. And you could go in and get 10 ears of corn for $5. And they had the green leaves and everything. And the kids would help me, peel back the corn, get the hair off of it. Fuzz. They thought the fuzz was fun. And then they'd help me prepare it. And we'd sit there and make a meal out of corn. That is cool. That's cool. But yeah, I love corn. It doesn't like me. But I still eat it. It doesn't stop me. Um, the only peanut I can't have is pine nuts. And I'm highly allergic to pine nuts. And, it's strange. I'm allergic to pine nuts, but I can have other tree nuts, you know? And it's like, okay. But I'm sure if I ate too much of them, it would probably give me problems. Yeah, I get near a pine tree, I'm done. I have an EpiPen just in case a pine needle hits me. So it's my allergy to them is that bad. Yep, I know. And my husband loves pesto. So, there's times I cook two meals for supper, one for him and one for me. And, then we have times that we eat things that we both like. And, it's worked for 30 something years. So guess what? It'll work another 30 something years. Hi, Julianne. Hi, Jax. Yeah, I've heard of that. I've heard of that. Just one particular nut. And it's because not all nuts are the same. They've got different chemical makeup in them. I didn't know that until I went to the allergist and she told me the only nut I was allergic to was pine nuts. And I was like, I almost bought a bag of pine nuts the other day at the store because I had a recipe that called for them. She said, glad you didn't. and they are expensive. So I'm glad I'm allergic to them. I think the bag was just a little tiny bag like this for $13. And I was like, excuse me, there ain't 13 nuts in there. Hi, Mary. Got about 4 more minutes. How many we got in here? Let's see. Let me go check. Okay, looks like we got 12 running. We'll give it time. We got some late arrivals. Then there's the ones that come in after class and watch it after class. But the thing is after class is over, it will be marked as public and go up under its own playlist called the beginning classes. Yeah, we'll be fine. They'll be here soon enough. They'll be here. You're going to have some that come in right on the dot. They're punctual like that. And that's okay. You're going to have some that come in a little bit late. That's why I take the first few minutes of class to just share, you know, it gives everybody time to get in. Some people, they're picking up their kids from school, or they're dropping their kids off here or something like that, and they can't get to the computer right away. That's okay. It's called real life, folks. Real life tends to get in the way of fun. I tell you, in the worst way. Anytime real life gets in my fun time, I just, yeah, I say bad things. I say bad words. I'll show you all my calendar here real quick. Let me get today's date up. Today is the 19th. This is my calendar. Now, mind you, this was created by my cousins, one of my cousins. And there's not any more in existence, but it flips for the year like this. And then once you get to the last page, you turn it around and flip it back the other way. And it continues on for the rest of the year. And every day she's got a little saying on there. She was dying of breast cancer, and this is what she left behind. And it was sold in stores and stuff years ago, but mom gave that to me, and I thought, well, that is perfect. And today's little thing says, just imagine living where love fills our lives so completely there won't be any empty spaces left in us to fill. Therefore, we won't want anything. We'll be perfectly content, supremely satisfied. And since that will surely be the case, it seems quite likely that our heavenly places won't need to be very big because we won't have any stuff to store. And she tells some really cute jokes in here. She makes light of a bad situation. And so I read these, and it'll lighten my day. I feel like I'm with family. You just finished school, class would start at 3 and they roll in at 3:15, 3:30, and 3:45. I can understand that. I can understand that. That is awesome. I mean, I got memories when we sold everything we had and moved on the rig. I kept back certain things that was my mom's, my aunts, my cousins, and so forth. And it ended up that, let me turn this off. Yeah, I took my medicine already. It ended up, I've got a lot of mom's artwork on my wall. She was an artist, and she wasn't well known, but she did paint and she drew, and I've got tons of her sketchbooks, and I kept those things like that that are memories. And one of her sketchbooks, she sketched the farm my great great grandmother lived on, and it had a well, had an outhouse. This is how old the place was. There was no electricity, and we would go there for the weekend in the summer, And I never had so much fun as a kid as I did when we went to the farm. And Mom's got all kinds of pictures in this one sketchbook of the farm and of us kids playing and all this other stuff. But she grew a whole bunch of blackberries and blueberries and stuff. And she would sit down the stools for us four kids to sit on with a bucket. The bucket never had any berries in it, but we come home a mess. And it was the best day ever. So, yeah, that was a blast. That was a blast. And that's some of my favorite childhood memories, to be honest, is times like that. And she got some really good pictures of us kids. But let's get on with today's class. Now, I got a lot of stuff to show you, so we may run over a bit today. If we do, that's okay. It's not out of the norm when we got a lot of stuff to go through. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to turn the camera down on my desktop. For all of you that are new to the class, this is the beginning of an adventure of a lifetime. You can either make a career out of it, or you can become a teacher, a designer, whatever. You can do whatever you want with this. All right? So sit back, enjoy, and if you have questions, don't be afraid to ask. All right? With that, let's go to our down shot and let's get jiggy with this. I got so much goodies to show. All right, first thing on the agenda. Guess what these are? Guess what these are? Do y'all have any idea what these could be? Let's have a gander at them. You see? Do y'all know what that could be? This is my very first dolly after getting through beginner class. Okay? Now, mind you, there's all kinds of mistakes. There's all kinds of tension problems. But I was proud of my first. And I kept this so that I could, in the future, see my improvements. Now, this is done with size 10 Aunt Lydia's, and this is needle tatted. Yes, I needle tatted this. I use both tools. I'm not a fan of needle tatting, but that doesn't mean I don't believe in it. I'm not one of those tatters, and yes, you will run into them along the way that have a stern dislike for needle tatters. I welcome all tatters. You can tat with your toes. If that makes you happy, do it as long as you tat. All right? But this one is needle tatted. You see how big all the elements are with size 10 thread. These are huge elements. But it's needle tatted and it's very, very loosey-goosey. And that's because needle tatting isn't as tight as shuttle tatting. But it gives a little frill to the piece. Okay? Now, this next one is going to blow your mind. This is the one everybody wants the pattern to, and there's no pattern. This is my own creation. Again, mistakes and boo-boos. But do you know what this is? Every round on this dolly here is a round of what I learned in beginner class. Okay? And I did this so I could see how things worked, how they went together. So I advise you, as a new student and a beginner, start one of your own. And every technique you learn, do a round. Because if you do the complete round as we get out to the more difficult techniques, you will learn that technique by muscle memory. Okay? So try it. You don't have to make it a round dolly. You can make it a square dolly. You could do whatever you want. Okay? So there's you an idea what to do. But this was my first original design. Okay? Now, let's move on to what I tried next. Tatting with beads. Y'all see that? Now this is a different type of thread that I used. We'll get into the threads. And this is, was it hematite? Yeah, hematite beads. And I just made a little medallion just to see if I could do it. Then this little jewel here. This is about the easiest pattern you could ever do in your life. And it has so much versatility. It's one square. It's just one square. And you connect them at the, the point. And you can make anything you want. You can make a jacket, you can make a scarf, you can make a bookmark. Very versatile. Okay, and that is a beginner pattern. So you can take what you know and make something with it. This was what we did this past Tuesday in class. That's my piece. We used buttons and tatted on the buttons. It's actually a beginner pattern. Looks very difficult, but it's really not. And to a beginner, it is taxing. Once you get the hang of tatting, this will all work itself out in the wash. All right. Now, the next thing I want to show you is all our little goodies. Things we can use to tat with. First of all, we've got scissors. Now, what kind of scissors do you want to use? Whatever scissors you use them only for tatting. Don't take them in there and cut paper. Don't take them in there and cut plastic. Because if you do that, you ruin your tatting scissors. Now, your scissors can be little itty bitties like this. These are called snips. They can be like this in a case. Let me open the case. You can get these. Used to get these at Barb's at Handy Hands. But what you're looking for is something with a very sharp edge to cut your fabric or your thread very close. Okay? And these are duckbill scissors. Ginger puts them out. You can get some of the knockoffs for a little bit cheaper than Gingers. I would go with Gingers because they last forever. Just don't lose them. Don't loan them because they're expensive. And then I just tatted this on the end so it would be easily found in a tatting bag. Okay? Then our next little deals that we can get. All right, let me move my little bucket over here. I'll start putting stuff in my bucket so I can clear off the desk. Another thing we're going to need is hooks. Oh, these scissors too, I wanted to show you. These are little snips. If you get the snips like this, okay, make sure you get one with the cover. Those things, the points on these things are sharp and they will put holes in your body. And then you'll leak when you drink, okay? That's what my grandkids say. So, all right, now you need crochet hooks. What size crochet hook do you need? You need the crochet hook that fits your thread, okay? Now, there are some threads like size 80, size 100 that need a crochet hook you can't even see. Okay, you can't see the tip on that crochet hook anywhere, right? And the reason you can't, it's very teeny. This is like a size, I want to say a 16 crochet hook. Don't jab these things in your fingers. They do hurt. I won't tell you no fibs on that. They do draw blood. All right. The next thing you're going to need is different sized ones. This one here is a 0.75 millimeter. It is equivalent to a size 10 crochet hook. This is what I use when I'm working with size 20 threads, okay, up to a size 10 thread. We'll get into thread sizes a little bit later in as we get over to the threads. All right, this is a 0.5 crochet hook. This is good for size 40 through 80 thread. Okay, again, be careful with these tips. These are silicone crochet hook ends. They also can be used for beads. I got them so that they'll fit on my crochet hook, and when I lay it down, my crochet hook doesn't take a flying leap out in the, in the floor, under the rug, in my dog, you know, just to name a few places they could land. Now, the next thing is this. These are hackle pliers. When you have a ring that you made a mistake on, you will need a set of these. Saying you're going to need a set of these. These will help you get that ring open so you can correct the mistake. If you don't have these, you can get them on Amazon. Okay. And if you get them on Amazon, you can get them as a 3-pack, pretty reasonably priced. Okay. Get the 3-pack. Trust me. Because these things get legs. They do. And they walk to some of the strangest places. Okay. These are called crisscross tweezers. And you see there a sharp point on them. Not real sharp. It's dull. But beaders use this to tie the knots in pearls, between the pearls, when they're stringing pearls. And that's what they're for. But guess what? When you're using small threads, you use these, and guess what? It holds that thread and it don't tear it up. And so you need a pair of something like this to get, if you're going to work with small threads. You graduate to this tool. You start with this tool, you graduate to this tool. All right. Now, next on the list, Thread Magic. This is not a needed, but it does help tame the twist. If you're working with threads like nylon or metallics, polyester, you're going to need this. But you're not ready for those threads. You'll see why when I get to it. All right. Next thing is paper clips, bulb pins, safety pins, anything you can attach to your thread to hold as a place marker. And you can use any of these. They will work as a place marker. All right. Now, the last thing on this level is gum floss threaders. They come in a pack like this. I think it's like 10 floss threaders, and they're blue. These are used to thread your needle, pull tail ends through, and so forth. There is also in here some monofilament that you can tie a knot in and get the same, you know, deal with it as you do the floss threaders. I like the floss threaders because you get this nice little case with them, and you can throw that in your pocketbook, in your tatting bag, and guess what? The world's your oyster because you haven't lost them. All right. So that clears that level off, but I got another thing over here I want to show you. Now, these Venus beading needles, when you get into beading, these are a nice addition to your tatting kit. Don't have to have them. None of this stuff you have to have, except for the scissors. But these are little added jewels you can play with. You will need the crochet hook or you can't pull your picots, and I'll explain that. All right. Last thing is, these are the paper clips I use. And these are put out by Tim Holtz, which he does a lot of scrapbooking stuff. They're tiny. They're very tiny. I like them because they're easy to put on the thread and they stay in place and they don't get in my way when I tat. Okay? So there's all those goodies collecting over here in my bucket. Next thing, here is one of those mini crochet hooks. You see it's got a little, let me pull it out of the bag here. You get these at Handy Hands or Laces on the internet. We got a link to both. This is a tiny one, size 14. It's smaller than, this one is not as small as the 16, but it's got a little ring on it so you can attach a hook to it and hang it from a lanyard. We'll get into that. We got so much to learn, so much, and so many fun things to make. Okay, because you got to make your tatting kit. You've got to put your heart and soul into your tatting kit. Okay, remember that. You just can't work without your tatting kit. Now, will you open up, slide down there? Thank you. It just wanted to fight a little. Now you see my desktop. I got all these shuttles up here. Where in the world did these shuttles come from? Well, most of them, I bought them from different people. Well, just sketch away. Stop the video and sketch away. I'd love to see it, Mary. All right. These are most of these shuttles that I have. I buy from vendors that make them. Okay. There are some store-bought, what they call store-bought shuttles here. But for the majority, these are all handmade shuttles. Okay. This is the smallest shuttle I own. This is one that Richard made, George's husband. Isn't that tiny? Look how small that is. But you can use it to tat with. You would use this on very fine thread, like 120, 170 size thread, because it would fill up with the 170. You put size 10 in there, you're only getting 2 wraps and you ain't going very far. I'm just saying. But it's a nice addition. It's cute, and I just hang on to it. This here is another one of Richard's, and this is made from a lilac bush. It's got a purple tinge to it, okay? And there's a story behind it. The lilac bush got damaged, and they cut the bush down, ground the lilac branches, I can't say it, down to dust, and then created the shuttle. It is one of my most treasured shuttles. I'm scared to use it. I'm afraid I'll drop it and break it. It is very, very thin. Okay. But I just love it. And this was their gift to me the first year Georgia could come to Cat Days after her strokes, for taking over the classes. And I'll cherish it forever and a day. Trust me, I will. This is another one of Richard's. And I think Georgia put the little flower on it. I don't know. But this is another one of Richard's handmade shuttles. This is one that Georgia wants back, and I told her she couldn't have it. You know, I said, I don't share. So with that, we've got a bumblebee. You'll hear people call this a bumblebee, and that's exactly what it is. It's a bumblebee shuttle. It's a bobbin shuttle at the tail end of the shuttle. You fill your bobbin on the sewing machine with your tatting thread, and you use it like a regular shuttle. I have never used this. I just thought it was unique. Okay. But you have to watch your tension and all this other stuff. It's just like the GR8s. And this is a GR8 shuttle right here. It uses a Husqvarna, I guess that's how you say it, bobbin in theirs. And you have to take it off, put it on the machine, thread it, and put it back in. But I never can get the tension right. I've got 2 of these. Well, I've got 2 of the resin ones. I've got 1 of the purple heart wood ones. And I love them because they're so well made and they're so light. But I just can't get the tension on it. Randy showed me about 15 times. I'll never fix it. I'll never get it. Just never get it. All right, this here is just a regular wood shuttle. I think Handy Hands is the one that carried this. It's very lightweight, okay, and it's easy to use. But the problem I have is my hands are so slick. These things go flying when I use them. But I love the feel of them in my hands. And see, when you start tatting, you'll get shuttles in your hands and you say, oh, this feels comfortable. Your hands don't cramp and you can really tat for hours. When you get a shuttle that makes your hands hurt, don't use it. Keep it in your collection, because if it makes your hands hurt, it's not the shuttle for you. Okay? Your shuttle will pick you. I'm just saying, it's strange, it's weird, but that's what'll happen. Okay? So, that said, I'm going to move on to this one. This is a Russian made shuttle, Veronica Arkadijeva, my adopted daughter. She's not really my adopted daughter. We adopted each other years ago. She makes these, and they're well balanced. They're well made. I've never had any of them. I've dropped these things and never broke a tip. That's how well made they are. And her work is impeccable. She's got many, many designs. Her link is down below in the video description. This is another wooden shuttle. This one came from, okay, it's got the name on the inside of it. You see them on the internet all the time, and I cannot think of the designer that made these. But this is bamboo. It is very lightweight. There's no weight to this thing at all. Okay. And it's bamboo. Easy to tat with. You got a big project, you can fill this sucker up and you can go to town. Okay. This is another Russian shuttle. This is Nina Libin sold these many, many moons ago. And it's got where your thread goes through here, comes out here. It's a little heavier, but it's real wood. I've never used it. I was just thankful to get it. Nina is a friend of mine, and I just love her to death, and she's been sick for a while. All right, now we've got a cherry wood flat shuttle, okay? This is one I picked up, I want to say at the Lafayette Lacers. That's where this one come from. I don't know who the designer was, but I just wanted a flat shuttle. So when I was doing weaving, I had something I could hold on to and it wouldn't get in my way. All right. This in here is a buffalo horn shuttle. It's made from buffalo horn. Lightweight, comfortable, fits in the hand good. It's a natural element, so therefore your arthritis is not going to bother you. When you get into the plastic shuttles, if you've got hand arthritis, rheumatoid arthritis, these are going to hurt your hands. Know that. As long as it's a natural element, it will not hurt your hands. In fact, it will absorb the pain away from your hands. I hope you all understand what that means. Lots of tatting. Okay. This is another odd shuttle that I've gotten in my little treasures. And the blades, I'm trying to get it out. The blades are here and here where the thread pops out as you're tatting. But look at the amount of thread that thing can hold. And it's smooth. It feels good. It's a nice feeling in the hand. Okay. Now, this is all my wooden shuttles. Let's get those out of the way. These are the moonlit shuttles. This one here, these are from Handy Hands. You get them and they're plain like this on both sides. But Rita Richmond painted this and I got it from her and she sent it to me. And I love the painting on it. Georgia wants to snap this. She says, the next time I see it in your bag, I'm taking it. I said, okay. Georgia, she's just like that. She loves all shuttles. Now, this here is a Rita Richmond. This is Shuttle by Design. Both of these are Shuttle by Design. We also have a link to Rita's site. And this is an acrylic shuttle. The nice thing about this one is it's a small enough shuttle to tat with. You don't get an oversized shuttle in your hand. But if you're working with beads, this is a really good shuttle to use. Okay. This is a clover. These are the most common shuttles you'll see around is the clover shuttles. These are the original tatting shuttles, okay, in plastic. Now, there's some vintage shuttles. Don't get me wrong. There's a lot of plastic, well, celluloid. I'll get it right. Celluloid shuttles out there. And they're plastic. It's just a form of plastic. And it's what they used back in the day. Okay. But that's just a clover. Now, this is the clover bobbin shuttles. And this is the bobbin along with the bobbin case to wind up the shuttle. They don't sell these in the United States anymore. They stopped distributing this way. But if you go to Twisted Pico, okay, she can get them because she orders these from Japan. They're only sold through Clover Japan. So she can get her hands on them. She'll sell them to you. All right. So that one. I do love my Clover bobbin shuttles. I'll just give you that. This one here, come off of Amazon. You get a 6-pack plus a tatting needle, and I think it's a tatting needle and a big eye needle. And it holds a lot of thread. It's easy to use, fits good in the hand, but it's nothing to write home about, nothing fancy. But you can fancy it up and decorate your shuttle and play. This here is a boy. Now, I've had this one for a long time. This is an original boy. Okay. And they do have knockoffs that they sell on Lacemakers website, and you can get them there. But I will advise you that sometimes the two pieces of plastics are not together like they are in the boy. It has to say Boy Chicago on them right here. It will say Chicago, and it says the Boy Needle Company. So that is a vintage boy. This here is one of my loves. This is an Baltic amber shuttle. You can't get your hands on them now, but it's lightweight, but it has Baltic amber in there. You can see, let me get it up there so you can see the Baltic amber down inside there. It is a gorgeous shuttle. And the guy that made these, he was in the Ukraine, and when the war broke out, he ran. And as with most citizens that could get out. And he was looking for his resin or his amber to catch up to him, and it hasn't made it to him yet. And he refuses to make anything but these because he thinks the Baltic amber just adds that little bit to the shuttle that it needs. Okay. Now, these are the metal shuttles. This is a brass one. If you're going to use the brass or any metal shuttle, know that this metal here will leave a metal smell on your fingers. It will make your thread smell like metal, but it's washable. Okay, you can wash all that out and wash all of it off. Don't leave thread on your metal shuttles because it will tarnish your thread and it will eat away at your thread. So do not leave your thread on metal shuttles. Okay, if you get them, great. You can get these at Lacemakers. Now, this here is my butterfly shuttle. You see, it's a post shuttle. And I got this, let me think, what is her name? Mitty Clark. She took over when her father got out of the shuttle making business. And she has got some of the most unique designs you will ever lay your eyes on. This one here is a Pegasus. And I have a butterfly, and I also have I think it's a dragon that she made me. And these are metal shuttles. This one is brass. This one is silver. These things are heavy. Okay, don't get me wrong. They're beautiful shuttles. I got them because they're pretty. But when you're going to tap with them, you have to really be careful because you drop your shuttle. First of all, the enamel's coming off. You're going to crack your enamel. Second problem is your thread's going to go like that because of the weight of the shuttle. They're great for little tats where you're not going to put a lot of thread on them. Okay? Now, this one here and this one here is made by, don't ask me his name, I cannot say his name. He is on Etsy. This is the olive, and this is the ship. He called it a spaceship. One is a post shuttle, one is a bobbin and post shuttle. I don't use these. Okay, they're unusual. I bought them because they're unusual. Okay, I tatted a couple of times with it. That was it. These blades tend to come apart, and you have to keep pushing them back in. and I don't want to wear the metal and break it. So I just put them in my cabinet and said, they're beautiful, but I'm not going to tear them up to use them. Piccolo Designs, that's who it is. This here is a boy shuttle. You see these at places like, used to be AC Moore. Okay, Michael's, I think, may have some of these. I'm not sure. But you can find them in little 5 and dime stores, things like that. They're just a cheap shuttle, but it is a bobbin shuttle, and you can use these to tat with. Okay? A lot of people use them because they're easy to get. All right? And they're not too expensive. And they're lightweight. They're not heavy like these others. So when you tat with them, if you drop it, your thread's not going anywhere. It's going to stay right there. But again, it's metal. Do not leave your thread on it. It will cause the metal to rust and the thread to get it. Okay? So don't. Just don't. Now, let me put these over here. Let me put them in this cup here. Because I don't want to mess up my shuttles. I can always put them away later because I've got shuttles here, shuttles there, shuttles everywhere. So the shuttle you choose to use is the shuttle that fits comfortable in your hands, not your neighbor's hands, your hands. Yeah, Handy Hands is selling some of Chicago Boys. She's, I don't know, it was backstock she had or something, but she is selling some. Yes, be careful, make sure it says USA Boy. Okay, you get the one from China, that's the one that comes apart in the center. All right, now the next thing, needle tatters. Here's your dream come true. We have Lace's tatting needles. These are all Handy Hands tubes, okay? And I just reuse the Handy Hands tubes. This is Lace's, and they have every size you need in tatting needles, all right? And you can get them. They're good tatting needles. They don't have the sharp points. Havel needles, don't buy those. Not unless you plan on donating blood, okay? If you're going to donate blood, get you a set of Havels because the points on them are ridiculously sharp. Okay, so stick with your Laces or your Handy Hands. Now, this is Handy Hands yarn needles. Now, you want some serious large tatting, get you some yarn needles. And they have yarn needles for every size of yarn you could possibly tat with. But remember, your negative space that you're going to get with these large yarn needles is going to be massive. Okay? So don't be surprised and say, ooh, that looks awful, all that open, wide space. Think of what you could put in that space. A flower. Just think about it. It helps you to expand your horizons. All right? Now, these are DMC needles. You can't find these anymore. These were sold out long ago. They're the closest needle that you can get to a jiffy. You see the eyes on these? It is the closest thing to a jiffy you can get your hands on. If you see a set of these being sold on the internet, get them. You used to could get them through Amazon up until about 7-8 years ago, maybe longer. And I don't think they even get them anymore. So if you find a set, get them. They are really, really fantastic needles. Okay? So we'll put you all over there. Our next list of goodies, let's move it on. Look at this. Look at all these fun toys I've got. Now remember, all this is toys. This is our toys. Women have toys too. Guys have toys and they're big and expensive. We have toys, they're little and maybe expensive. Not much though. Okay? All right, let's see. Corinne has flat shuttles from Georgia, but don't know how to use them. I'll teach you how to use them. That's what this class is about. We're going to learn all that good stuff. Now, these are pico gauges. I'm going to lay this over here. First of all, I'll show you the pico gauges Georgia used to make, or her husband did, Richard. I don't use these. Reason being is they're tiny, easily lost, and they are my faves. Of course, anything Georgia and Richard make is my faves because it was made with love. Everything they made it with love. Now, there's every size in here. So if you can find a set of these, somebody's selling them or you see them in an estate sale, they'll be in a little box like this with George's name on the back. If you find them, get them. Put your hands on them and take them, okay? Because they're well worth their value, all right? But a set of these, yeah. If you're sitting at a desk and you know you're not going to drop them off, yeah, use them. They're precise. Richard was very precise in everything he did and everything he made. So there's that. This here is a Russian pico gauge. Okay, as this goes up, it gets bigger. Okay, it's no measurements on it. You just pick a spot on there and you start, with your pico gauge. I don't use this. Veronica sent it to me as a gift. It was a birthday gift, I believe. See, she put a little flower on it. All right, the next thing we got is this. You can get this at Lacemakers, and it's a Tatting measuring. I guess it's a measuring stick. I don't know what you call it. It's a ruler, but it's a pico gauge. It's a one-size pico gauge. And I got it because this pico size is the size that's mostly used in tatting. So I don't have to go dig into China to find the right pico gauge. These are clover pico gauge. And these are nice, and I don't know if Handy Hands carries these or not. I know she used to, but it's every size you could possibly imagine, and it's numbered. Okay, you don't get measurements on these. So you just pick one and you say, okay, that looks good, and that's where you go. But they're clover pico gauges. Now, the Clover Japan carries the blue set. It's a real pretty pale blue, but you can't get it here in the States. All right. These are the pico gauges Veronica makes. Okay, they come in a bunch. I didn't want to sit the bunch down, but here you go. It's a bunch of pico gauges, and all of them are different sizes. And that's what she makes. And you can get them from her site. It's listed below. This here is a seam gauge. Okay, you get this at Hobby Lobby in the fabric department, Michael's in the fabric department. Any sewing department will have these. You can also get them on Amazon. And it gives you all the measurements this way, and every way, okay? And you can use this for a pico gauge. This is Handy Hands pico gauge. Now, the nice thing with Handy Hands pico gauge is it gives you the measurement for your tatting needles as well. All right, with this, you get the tatting needle measurements, you get all the pico sizes, and you get a handy tool for bare thread space. Okay, so you're killing 3 birds, 1 stone. All right, using the Handy Hands pico gauge. This here is a hole sizer for the boutonniere, the old boutonniere. That's the hole sizer. That was in my mom's stuff. I said, whoa, that's a neat little pico gauge, and it can be used as one because it gives you several sizes. So you can use that. You can make your own, okay, out of a little store thing, reward card, measure it off, and it's yours. Or you can use, those little pins that come with your laptops and phones, stuff like that. Well, every one of those has a different size to them. These are great for making your joining picos with. They're not heavy, they don't get in the way. You can use them, make the pico, and they're out of your way. And then we have these. These are cards that have been cut up and made into pico gauges. All right, you can do that. Here's a piece of plastic that came from something. This is an inch and a half, and you can use it for a pico gauge. You can get a pico gauge just about out of anything. Okay, and that's the treat for today. Give me a second. I think I swallowed a bug. Actually, no, it's called I talk too much. All right. Now, what we are going to do, you see, I've got an old credit card. I've got 2 Walmart gift cards here. I save all of these things, okay? Because you don't want to take your good pico gauges out in the open in the field and be sitting there tatting and drop your pico gauge, your good one, and you can't find it. So you take these cards and you cut them up and make pico gauges. You lose these things, you ain't lost nothing. If you use an old credit card, something that they can, probably use, make sure you just make the tiniest pico gauges out of those, okay? Because you don't want nobody putting the card together, all right? So you can use an old credit card, you can use an old medical card, any kind of plastic card you can use, all right? So here's what we're going to do. I like this one, all right? I really like that little teddy bear. He's cute. What you do is you get a ruler. Handy Hands is great for the ruler. And you can do one of 2 things. You can do a measurement for one like this and follow down through here, okay? Or you can take your card, lay a tape measure or something like that. And in the last class, I taught you all how to read your tape measures. You've got from here to the end is 1 inch. This is a quarter, and that's an 1/8. You will not find a 16th on this here because we don't deal with 16ths in tatting. They start at an 1/8. You want something smaller, you need something small like this to use as a pico gauge. As you progress in your tatting, that's not going to be a problem, okay? Because you're going to have it down to an art on your small picos, and you're not going to need to use these as often. But if you get something that requires a lot of picos, you want to invest and get you some pico gauges. So what you do is you lay your measuring tool, which this is a good tool, down on that, and you get you a Sharpie pen that has a sharp point on it, like that. See that? And you mark, okay? From the end of that to this 8th mark is right here, okay? And you will cut that piece. So lay it this way. And remember, we're not using our good scissors. We're using scissors that can cut plastic. All right? Mark it. And then get our scissors. I use these because they're good for my Arthur hands. And you just cut right across. Okay? And you have a pico. The next one, you'd step over to the next mark on your gauge, your measuring tool, and do the same thing and cut across. Before you know it, you've got this whole credit card or whatever chopped up, and it is now pico gauges. You can take and mark on them with the Sharpie marker and put your sizes on there, okay? If it's got a slick front, the back of it's usually not slick. This one is. It doesn't like being marked on. But a ballpoint pen can work on them too. But, you know, anything's possible. And once you get which ones you use the most often, okay, you keep them in your tatting kit. And you've always got your pico gauges with you. All right. Now, your tatting kit can be an old pocketbook. Your tatting kit can be an old bag, one of those little small tote bags you get at the dollar store. It can be anything you like for it to be. There are many places that sell tatting bags. I used to make tatting bags, and I had a shop that I sold them in. I try to get some in there. I can't keep them on hand, I'll be honest with you. And they're very hard to make. But, you know, when I get some in the shop, I'll be happy to let you all know there's some more tatting bags in the shop. Deb Arnold makes a really nice tatting bag. It's a round one. Okay. There's several people that make bags on Etsy so that you can get you a tatting bag. All right. So just everything, you can either buy it or you can make it. There's only certain things you can't make. Okay. You cannot make a crochet hook. You cannot make a pair of scissors. You can make a shuttle. You can make a shuttle out of a piece of plastic, out of a piece of cardboard. You can make a shuttle out of this. Exactly, Vanessa, exactly. So you can make a tatting shuttle out of this, a flat tatting shuttle. You can draw it out however you want it, poke a hole in two ends so you can wrap the thread on it, and then cut you a slit here and here so you wrap it and you can work the thread off, just like the one flat shuttle I had. So see, even your shuttle can be made from a used gift card. Tatting is one of the least expensive hobbies you will ever do. Okay? Now, everybody got that on the pico gauges, how to make them? That's why I told you to bring a card so you could make pico gauges. This over here, it's going to take me 3 days to put this stuff away. It is, I'm telling you. Don't take that long to pick it up, but it sure takes a long time to put it away. But I got stuff poked at every hole in this room. All right, now, the next thing I want to do is introduce you to Teddy. All right, let me get myself situated here. We're going to get into the threads. I know everybody's going to love this part of it. You're saying, what can I use to tat with? Well, if it's thread, pick it up and start tatting. Because you can tat with anything you got. You can tat with sewing thread. If your heart's desire, but it's beginner, I don't advise it. Okay? Because there's certain things you need to see. But on this tray is all kinds of little goodies that you can tat with. It's thread. This here is nylon thread. Yeah, you can tat with it. Yeah, it makes pretty stuff. But you're going to have to condition it with that thread conditioner because it's going to slip. It's going to give. Okay? But you can tat with it. And this is about a size 20 thread. Okay? You can tat with this. In fact, I'll go ahead and open this up. Been in a plastic for a while. I don't like plastic on my thread. I really don't. Gets in my way. But you can use this. And this is small. This is like a size 30. You see, it's a very small thread. It's a pretty thread. But you can tat with that. Now, this is a vintage thread. Okay? Now, you can tat with size 8 thread. This is like pearl cotton, you can use that. It's loosey-goosey. It will give some fluff to your tatting. If you want something soft, use the pearl cotton. It comes in several different sizes, 8, 12, I think 14 even. But use it. It makes the piece very delicate. Okay, so you can tat with that. You can tat with embroidery thread. Okay, this I got from Twisted Pico. Got this from them. And it's to show you, yes, you can tat with it. Okay, and all it is embroidery thread. Hand-dyed threads. You'll see people that sell hand-dyed threads. Mary Lee Rockley sells hand-dyed threads. Several people. Annalay, I guess is how you say her name. She's on Facebook. She's got some beautiful threads. Monique with New Bear, she's got beautiful threads too. And they're hand-dyed. All of them are hand-dyed. If you can get your hands on some hand-dyed threads, you're going to get some of the prettiest threads you've ever worked with. I'm just saying. Okay? This is Lil Jan's Handy Hands 30. You can tat with this, size 30. It's a little softer than tatting thread. It's more of a crochet thread. Okay? This is Eliza, size 10, Handy Hands. Again, you can tat with this. This is equivalent to size 10 crochet cotton you get at Walmart, Aunt Lydia's. Okay, that's what that's equivalent to. Just a little bit stiffer. This is machine embroidery thread right here. Okay, you can tat with that. That is a polyester thread. It does stretch. When you're tatting with this, you have to have 2 to 3 strands to tat it. All right. This is Elizabeth's newest invention. This is her metallic thread. This stuff is smooth as silk. Okay. I've already played with it. It tats up nicely. So, yeah, I like this one. She also has the other ones that are spooled like this, and I don't like that. It's kinky. Okay. This is the Olympus thread. This is my favorite thread. This stuff is like running silk across your hands. It's costly. It comes from Japan, but it is a really nice thread. This is a size 40. And you can see, look at that. Y'all see that? How thin that thread is? And the piece will come out very, very small. Okay. This is Elizabeth, size 10. Okay. Our first few classes that we're going to have, we're going to be using a size 3 crochet cotton so you can see how the thread is manipulated. All right. We will work our way into the size 10. That's as far as we will go in this class. When you're ready for size 20, you move on into the intermediate class, and that's on Tuesdays. Again, polyester thread, sewing thread. Okay? And you can see how thin that thread is right there. But they are beautiful colors. Now here is metallic sewing thread. This one here is about the size of size 80. And you can get this at Hobby Lobby. All right. And it's a pretty metallic. And it tats up nicely. But it's really, really small. So whatever you make with it's going to be small. Smaller the thread, smaller the piece. This is DMC 80. This is what they tatted with back in the day. Star threads. That may ring a bell with some of you. That was what they used, and that's the size of the thread. And this is size 80. You see how small that thread is? That's sewing thread. Okay? But you want something dainty and delicate, that's your thread. This is Alton Basak. Basak, I can't say his name. But this is size 50. I've tatted with this. This is a nice thread to tat with. It's got a smooth texture to it. If you're going to tap with smaller threads, I would advise you one, if you can get your hands on it, if you can find it, get you some of this. It's really, really nice to tap with. All right. What are these clips on here for? I use these clips to hold the thread on my spool so I don't open my drawer that's got my thread in and there's thread everywhere. And it's all tangled up and I spend 6 hours trying to get the knots out of it. This saves the day. The Twisted Pico also has this product. It sticks to itself. It's called Hugo's Amazing Tape. You pull it off what you need, you stretch it, and it sticks to itself. It doesn't stick to the thread, and it will hold your thread in place. Okay, and then when you want to remove it, you just pull it off. If it gets dirty, you wash it off, put it back on. Okay, it's really a neat product. Yes, I have used it. This is what it looks like. And it's not sticky. It is not sticky at all. But it sticks to itself. It's like a static electricity it's got. Okay? And if you get you some of that. You don't have to have all these little picks, these hairpins and stuff to hold your threads. So there's that one. And then you have Handy Hand size 20. This is the one I use mostly in the intermediate class. Okay? Because all samples have to be done, if you're doing any sampling for anything, they have to be done in size 20. They can't be done in 40. They can't be done in 80. They have to be done in size 20 because that is the standardized size for all competitions and so forth. So there you go. That's your answer to why we use 20. All right. Now, this is thread you don't get here. You get this in Italy. This is what they call penny thread. This is what they make the jewelry with. Now, Angela Gampka makes some of the most stunning jewelry you've ever laid your eyes on. And she uses the embroidery thread, okay, and does her tatting. But she will also use the penny thread and add some metallic to it. Oh my gosh, it's a showstopper. So, but that is penny thread. And it is a polyester nylon thread. It doesn't stretch, it doesn't give. But it's a really good thread to make jewelry with. Okay, now these are the basic threads that you will find tatters using. Now, when we get into jewelry making and stuff with the classes, I will show you other threads that are easier to get your hands on than the penny thread. All right, and we'll learn how to do jewelry making. The last thing you got here, this is a thread zapper. It will cut the ends of your thread using a burner, okay? A little, I'll show you. I'll take the safety off. It's not got batteries in it. I'll take them out. This little thing here, it heats up and you run it across your thread. It cuts your thread. It keeps your thread from fraying when it burns the end, okay? I have this one, and my newest one that I got is the Etkoki, and this one here, it does nylon really well. It's got this super cap. Of course, it don't want to come off. There we go. I'll show you. Are you gonna? There you go. Now it's on. If I touch it, I will be burnt. Okay, but it heats up. You run it across your thread, and Bob's your uncle, and you're done. In fact, I'll show you right here. I got some thread. You got thread, heat it up. Helps if you have it between the fingers, right? I'm on. It's not wanting to work with me. My fingers just retiring today. Can you see? Let me get it going. It's not heated up. Are you going to heat up? Please. It's not heating up. What is your... Oh, it's broke. I just broke the tip. That's okay. I got another tip. But you heat it up, then you burn the tip, and it's done. Okay, and it's rechargeable. Doesn't take batteries. I just hate this cap coming off. It's a workout, but you see it, you charge it. It's rechargeable USB. I got the extra tip. I don't use that one as much as I use this one. This one takes batteries. Batteries go in there. Inside of here, you can get the extra tips for this, and it fits right there. Sits right in there. But yeah, that I was testing for the company, so that's it. Now we're going to move that out of the way. We're going to put all this thread back on top of here. But most of you have seen me use the thread zapper in class when we was working on projects that especially the metallics needed the thread zapper for. Now, what do we got here? We got thread. Lots and lots of thread. This is the size thread I'm going to use for teaching. Okay. And the shuttles I'm going to use are Tatsy shuttles. You see how big these things are? These are not comfortable to tat with. They do what you need them to do, but they make a good second shuttle for a ring and chain pattern. You can really go to town with chains on this because your thread's here and you're not using this to tat with. But because we are learning how to tat and the necessary things to tat, we need to have the right tool and the right thread so you all can see what I'm doing. Now I have several colors that we can use, okay? But the first thing I want to do is for you guys to learn how to fill your shuttle the proper way. Now, a shuttle, let me open this, more plastic. I love plastic. Not, okay, this color here is Blue Hawaii, what the name of the color is. And this one here, I think, is that ecru. It just doesn't want to come off. There we go. Yeah, Murphy lives here, by the way. He's been here all morning. I'm not even going to discuss it. He's just a pain. Now, what you want to do is, if I didn't have the helper thread on here, there's a hole right here in the shuttle. You would run your thread through the hole through the other side, and you would hold it on the top of the shuttle, okay, and then start winding. Well, I put a helper thread, and Gina Butler came up with this, and it's the neatest thing since sliced cheese. You take a piece of thread, you wrap it around the post, okay, run it through the hole and wrap it through the bottom of the post. You just tie a knot in it, okay, and then cut the extra off. Then you come up here and you pull off as much thread as you need, okay, for the length that you want. And what this is going to do is going to allow you to be able to use every last square inch of your thread on your shuttle, okay? So you want to pull off a pretty good sized amount of thread, and you take the thread, you wrap it up, and you pull it down here and you tie a knot in it, and then cut off the excess. Once you do that, take the thread you're going to wrap on that shuttle, put a loop in it, run that through that loop. This is the helper thread coming off your shuttle. Run it through, and then run your shuttle through that loop. Now watch what's going to happen here. It's going to come down on that thread. Now, you've got a little bit of a tail here. You can pull it down, you can bring it up, whatever your little heart's desire. It's up to you. Grab those two threads and pull them apart, and it's going to go pop. And when it pops and it switches the thread over, it's locked. It's not coming off until you take it off. Then start wrapping your shuttle. Okay? And you want to walk your thread on. That's the proper way to roll the thread on your shuttle. The reason you want to do that, okay, is to keep the twist out of the thread as much as possible. Elizabeth thread is the twistiest thread you're ever going to use, okay, followed by yarn. It can twist up in ways you never thought imaginable. So make sure you walk your thread on like this. Okay, I know you don't like to hear the clicking noise. I do like the clicking noise. It's relaxing. Okay, I'll wrap shuttles that I've got planned for certain things. I'll sit here and be watching videos wrapping shuttles, and I don't even pay a mind to it. So that's an idea you can do. But you roll it on. Now, some people do the windmill method like this. Guess what you're doing by doing this? Oh, you get it on faster, but you're also adding twists to this thread. So it's your choice. Do you want twist or do you not want twist? Now, if you want to do the twist, you can, if you know how. Me, I don't want to because I might throw a hip. Okay, so there you go. There's that. So that's what you want to do, is wrap the shuttle with your thread. Now, drop that in there and sit that to the side. We've got our shuttle done. My shuttle is full. You can see that. Lots of thread. First thing we want to do is wrap our hand with the loom to make the ring. The ring is the first thing you learn in tatting. You wrap the hand, and this is the proper way. This is the pinch, the finger and the thumb that meet. You can wrap it this way, or like a person that crochets. You know, they use the finger. You hold it with this finger, and there's the loop. Okay, you can wrap it down here. You can come across there. You can do it any way you want, as long as you have a tension line. And this is your tension line. This space right here is where the tension in your thread begins. Everybody got that? I know we're running over a little bit, but this is something I want you to do for homework. All right? So, now I'm going to wrap my hand for a ring. You go around the hand and back up, and you meet in the pinch. Doesn't matter if you do it with the crochet finger or the way I'm doing it. It doesn't matter. Either way is correct. As long as you have that tension right there. Pretend you're a little man jumping on a high wire. It should not move that much. Okay? The first thing you're going to do is you're going to go under that. Get up here so you can see. Go under that tension wire, come over the top and through your loop. Now what are we going to do? Hold that shuttle in our hand, release the tension, pull it tight, and flip that stitch over. And it'll go over to this side. Everybody get that? Give me a thumbs up if everybody got that. I want to see that everybody saw it flip. That is the hardest thing you're going to do in tatting, is make the flip. Are we here? Somebody? Give me a thumbs up. Somebody? Anybody? Am I dragging? All right, Jackie, thank you. All right, once you do that, you pull that knot down. That's your first half hitch, and that's what it's called. First half hitch. Okay? Put that in the pinch and hold it. Take your shuttle, go over the thread, under the thread, and through that hole. Guess what we're going to do? We're going to pull it down. Release this tension, pull this tight, and flip that over, and we get us a double stitch. There's our double stitch. Everybody see that? Can you flip? I don't know. Can you? All right. Now we're going to do 2 more of these. Watch what I'm doing. Okay. And we'll end up with 3 double stitches. The second half of that stitch is called the second half stitch. Now we've got 3 double stitches. We need more thread. The loom is getting a little tight. You want to pull this thread right here that's following through. That is called the core. Pull it and open your loom. Feed more thread. All right. Now, I'm going to show everybody the Riego method that makes all of what I just showed you easy peasy. The Riego method is you take the shuttle across your hand, come in behind and up between the 2 pieces of thread and just pull it out. And guess what? You flipped it just by making that first half stitch. The second half of that Riego is you come around across the back like this, up through the center, pull it. Take your finger out, and guess what? You just did the flip. Now, how easy is that? For those of you that are having trouble with a constant line of caps being even, Riego method is for you. It will line everything up the way it needs to be. Let me do that again and watch what I'm doing. Over the hand, like that, you'll have the Y. Up under, but you don't go in between here. You're going over on this side. Up between the Y. Okay? Pull your finger out, and it automatically flips that thread. Okay? Turn your hand over. Come up from the bottom. Pull the finger out, and you flip the thread. Did y'all get that? That is the easiest way to flip your thread. Everybody wants to do the slip and slide method. That's this one under, over, over, under. But the Riego method, it was designed by Millie Riego. It gives you more precise stitches. So pick your battle. Which one do you want to try? I would try both, see which one suits you the best. All right. Now, after you get through making 5 or 6 double stitches, you can close it if you're using this jumbo thread. If you're not, try to get 10 stitches on there. And keep everything in the pinch and close, and you have your first ring. Now, in this size 3 thread, that's not a pretty ring. I'm just saying it's not. But this is so you can learn. You can see what you're doing. Now, I want you all to skip a little bit of thread and make another ring. I want to see 10 rings in the group on your chain. That's your homework. Okay? And I want you to use a shuttle that is comfortable to you. And I want you to use thread that you like to use. You don't have to use what I am using. You use what you're comfortable with, what you have on hand. You don't need a pico gauge. You don't need your scissors, nothing. Just 10 rings on your thread. Leave it all attached to the ball. Okay. So let me switch the camera. My mouse woke up. Hey, come on, wake up, mouse. So everybody got what we did today. How much did you learn in one day? You're welcome, Mary. You're welcome. Y'all have to have more than one way to tap because not everybody is the same. They're not built the same. Their hands are not the same. They're not used to the things that we do to create what we create. Awesome, Corinne. Awesome. So, are there any questions? Well, thank you. I try to make it interesting. Now, after class today, after I shut down, I will set it for um, public so y'all can view this again. The name of the smallest space holder learned a lot and relaxed to slow and steady. The name of the smallest space holder is a bulb pin, and it looks like a light bulb. That's what it looks like. Let me get you one. This is what they look like, a little tiny light bulb. Can you see that? Okay, what was the tool in the beginning to open circles? You mean rings? That is called a hackle plier or crisscross tweezers. You can get both on Amazon. Mods, can you please look up on Amazon and give the ladies a link to both of those? Now you know what my moderators are for. They hop, skip, and jump and get all them links for you all. I got the best moderators, though. I truly do. Hackle pliers are used by fly fishermen. They use it to tie their flies or whatever, the things they fish with, they throw it out in the water. I don't fish, so they throw it out in the water. Yeah, you can, the oval shaped one, that was probably this one. Let me see. I got all kinds in here. I even got some sunglass shaped paper clips. Got a lemon. You want a lemon? One of these, Jackie. That was a paper clip right there. And then I showed a heart. And I got a lemon. I got some stars. See, got stars. So it doesn't matter as long as it goes over the thread. Does S&S Creates have a website? S&S Creates, I'm not familiar with that. Are you talking shuttles? What are you talking about, Nancy? The small paper clips, the little ones, those are Tim Holtz, and you can get those at craft stores where they have paper crafting, things such as that. Well, I like to have everything on hand, Jackie, just in case somebody says, I don't know if I can use that or not. S&D in the list provided. Okay, S&D. I'll have to look at that. Let me go see it just a second. It's raining here. Y'all will hear it rain. S&D Creates. Okay, she hasn't got a website yet. It's Shauna and Doug. They just now got into the shuttle making business, and they make some of the neatest, absolutely neatest pico gauges. They got rings on them and everything. And she said she'd get back with me when they got the website going. As soon as they do, I will definitely share it with class. I'll see her in September. So, and I'll just say, give me a website now. Give it to me. I get demanding when it comes to my students. So, any more questions? You're welcome, Nancy. Thank you for coming. Now, next week, we are going to learn how to manipulate this thread and make something pretty. Okay, we're going to learn all kinds of little techniques and stuff that beginners need to know. Pam is going to do a favor for you guys. She's going to post it in the group for you. It's going to be pinned at the top, okay, at the very top of the page. In fact, I don't know if I can go there or not. We're going to try. Let me go to our Facebook page. Give me a second. Give me a second. Give me a second. And I'll show you where to find it. All right, there we go. All right, settings. Let me find what I want. Okay. No, that's not what I wanted. Present. That's what I want. Share screen. All right, here we go. You ready, folks? Now you should be able to see this on your computer. This is our Facebook group. At the very top, after you see all the pretty pictures, you'll see featured. Here is Tuesday's class and the notes. Let everybody know. Put us in your contact list. Okay, put the online tatting class at gmail.com in your email contact list. This is a closed classroom and it is private. I don't want any Speedy Gonzalez tatters coming in and saying, oh, well, you can do this and this. We don't need that confusion. We've taken it slow and steady. It wins the race. So this is where you would look. It's right here under the featured for your link for the class after I get it uploaded to public. Okay. And it will take you straight to that page. Bookmark that somewhere. If you've got Notepad on your computer, make an entry for Notepad for all your beginner class stuff. If you want to go to our YouTube channel, you can. And what you can do is go under the YouTube playlist and you'll find an entry in the YouTube playlist. Let me go there. Let me slide back here to the very beginning. Okay. You go here on your YouTube. All right. Go under playlist. Then down here it says beginner tatter information. There will be another playlist that says beginners class. And all of your beginner classes will be under that playlist. All these are playlists. All right. So you can look under all of these playlists and find what you need to find. All right. So everybody got that? You like the thread attached for the shuttle? A lot of people like that trick. Okay, Jackie, yes, Pam's going to post it in the group just like I showed you. And it's going to be at the top of the Facebook group pinned post. If you need her to put it somewhere else or send it somewhere else, please let me know. Oh, you're welcome, Mary. You're welcome. Last time I did a live beginner class, I had all the more professed tatters in there with it. They wanted to be helpful, but it ended up, it was a catastrophe because the students got confused. They was bombarded with information from 15 people that They didn't need to know right now. Like I said, we're gonna take baby steps. But when I'm done with you, you're gonna be able to tap the monster dolly. Okay? You send homework to the Facebook group, and I get to see all your pretty pictures and I make comments on them. So you send it to Pam, the online tatting class. If you're not a member in Facebook, please join it. It's closed, it's private. Nobody else can come in and do things. Okay. You don't get a bunch of funny stuff going on. We don't allow that. It's tatters in there and design people that design tatting, like Martha S. She's in there. Um, Ruth Perry's in there. Just to name a few. Mary Lee Rockley, she's a member. So yeah, Monique's a member. New Bear, she's a member. And she's always providing new videos that she's done. So yeah, be sure to join it. If you don't join Facebook for anything else, join it for the class because there is a wealth of information in there. And we've got designers that come in there and grab people to test patterns. So there you go. If you like to do that. Right now, you just put thread on the shuttle. I'm going to tell you next class how to calculate how much thread goes on the shuttle because I'm going to show you a trick. All right. Thank you, Anna. Thank you. Did anybody get that link to Amazon for the hackle pliers? If not, I'll go get it real quick. Oh boy, I gotta get my keyboard going here. All right. And there we go. That's the link for the hackle pliers, I do believe. Somebody test that and see if that works. Boy, put it in. That's awful long. Let me try this again. Sometimes Amazon has the longest links. No. Oh, yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Yeah, I did. Let's see. Is it going? Yeah, it's posting it on there. Just Jiffy too. I don't like that link. Let me try another one. Seriously, folks, this is ridiculous. Maybe this one. We'll try. We'll try. We'll try. We better call it quits. I got lightning going on. So, are you still there? Am I still here? Looks like I am. Slow but steady. Let me see. Yeah, I'm locked up. All right. Yeah, it's storming here. So I'm gonna call it quits. You guys have a great week. I'll see you next week. Happy tatting, everybody, and may all your threads make beautiful lace. I'll see you next week. Bye bye.